Welcome to the Synthpop Reviews podcast. In this episode, I will spotlight two underground, lesser-known bands and their latest releases. I will also give you first impressions of the new CD by The Killers, which of course is a much more mainstream synthpop and rock band. And then we'll finish the episode by talking about an 80s flashback song that is wonderful and often overlooked, and it's by Simple Minds. So let's get started with the episode. The first lesser-known synthpop band that I want to focus on is Northern Lite. And they've been around for quite a while, actually. But their latest album, which is called Evolution, is really fantastic. They're a German band with a vocalist that has a great, deep voice, and they produce infectious songs. I can't tell you how many of these songs are stuck in my head after listening to Evolution a few times. Their songs tend to have a great rhythm to them, with crisp-sounding synths, and again, that deep voice. A couple of highlights from the album are California and Green Apples. But I could seriously list another 5, 6, 7 songs off of this album that are worth listening to, and very catchy songs. So I highly recommend you check out Northern Lite Evolution. The second lesser-known or underground band that I want to focus on is Mordlin. At least that's how I pronounce it. This band is pretty new. Their first release came out in 2019. It was an EP called Preface, and it only has 6 songs, but every song I consider to be perfect synth-pop. The music has a little bit of a dark tinge to it, but there's also hope there and some optimism. It's really an interesting blend that they have. Like I said, every single song is fantastic and beautiful, in my opinion. Mordlin uses 2 vocalists, a male vocalist and a female vocalist, and the songs are just fantastic. I never tire of listening to these songs. One of the nice things about the songs is, while they are prototypical, perfect synth-pop songs, there are surprises embedded within those songs. That's the only way I can describe it. Just as I'm listening, there are surprises that shake up kind of the synth-pop cliches that we sometimes hear. What songs do I recommend from the EP? I can't really select one over any other. They're all just amazing, excellent songs, in my opinion. So I'll just say The Balance. Try listening to the song The Balance. It's on YouTube. It's featured on the Synthpop Reviews blog, and you should check it out there along with the other songs and bands that I'm highlighting in this episode. So I hope you'll check out these 2 underground bands, at least in the US, they're kind of underground, and they are Northern Lite and Mordelin. Up next, we're going to talk about The Killers and their latest album, Imploding the Mirage. So let's talk about Imploding the Mirage, latest album from The Killers. I have to admit, I'm a little bit late to The Killers bandwagon. I didn't love their first album when it first came out, and so I kind of dismissed them. And then when their album Day and Age came out, they caught my attention again with songs like Human and Spaceman and many others. And so I started to become a fan, and then I checked out their back catalog, and since then I've enjoyed every album that they've produced. Imploding the Mirage was delayed because of the pandemic. It was supposed to come out in the spring. Instead, it came out in the fall of 2020. And the lead single that was released was Caution. It's a fantastic synth-pop song with a great chorus. Really a perfect Killers song, in my opinion. It's this kind of song, this kind of music that has made me a Killers fan. Right now, they're pretty much my favorite band. Most people consider them a rock band, and I can see that aspect, but I love the synth work in most of their songs. And to me, they're a synth-pop band. In addition to Caution, they have several other great songs on the album. I enjoy listening to the whole album. One of my favorites is Fire and Bone, and I often hear people comparing this song to music by Talking Heads, and I love Talking Heads, big fan of their music. And I guess I can see that a little bit. The way Brandon Flowers sings this song is a little bit reminiscent of David Byrne from Talking Heads, and it took me a little while to really appreciate this song. What drew me into it was actually the words, the lyrics, the message of the song. You should check it out, study those lyrics, and see if it has special meaning for you as it does for me. Dying Breed is another fantastic song from the album, and I love the album tracks as well, the ones that aren't singles. There's a lot of good music to be enjoyed in Imploding the Mirage by The Killers. All right, when we come back, I'll spotlight a favorite flashback song from the 80s. Our flashback song for this episode is Promised You a Miracle by Simple Minds. I just love this song. To me, it just sounds cool. That's the word I would associate with this. Promised You a Miracle came from the earlier part of Simple Minds' career, before they became a little more poppy and more mainstream. And I love that music from them as well, don't get me wrong. But their earlier music really was fantastic and cool and a little bit more synth-heavy than some of their later work. If you haven't heard Promised You a Miracle, you've got to hear it for an example of excellent 80s synth pop. So that's a wrap for this episode. I'd love to be able to play clips of these songs for you, but due to copyright reasons, I'm not able to do that. Please check out the Synthpop Reviews website at synthpopreviews.blogspot.com to listen to these songs, to watch music videos of these songs and bands that I've mentioned in this episode. And if you're a member of a synthpop band, or if you have your own synthpop CD that you would like me to review, I would love to do that. You can contact me through my blog, again at synthpopreviews.blogspot.com. I would welcome sample CDs if you want to send me a CD to listen to. And as probably the world's biggest synthpop fan, I can promise you I will be interested in hearing that music and giving it an honest review. Until next time, long live synthpop.